Hey everyone. In this video, I just want to talk about my experience and thoughts on playing the new Crucible League for Path of Exile. What I think about the game, what I think about the direction the game is going, and the current state of the game in 2023 after all these updates. The last time I really played the game, I really engaged with the endgame of PoE was Ultimatum. And I really got into the game during that league. Usually, on average, I quit around a few days into a league. Usually, after I beat all the act bosses, I get to maps. I get the early yellow maps, and then I start hitting a wall in terms of damage or survivability. And at that point, I kind of just get turned off by the game, and I end up quitting until the next league. But for Ultimatum, the league mechanic was super rewarding, combined with the fact that I was playing a pretty good build. I was playing Elementalist Auto Bomber Fireburst, which was really good. It's like the ranged version of Righteous Fire Juggernaut, except a lot squishier since it's an Elementalist and not a Juggernaut. But yeah, the concept is pretty much the same. You turn on some auras, you press an attack on a mob to get it ramping, and then at that point you literally just walk around the map. You literally just walk, and everything around you will die to like your ignites. But yeah, back to my thoughts on the league. I guess on this league, I guess I'll start with my build. Initially, I was gonna do some guileless sort of league start where I wasn't gonna use any third-party websites or any build guides to play the game. I wanted to approach it in a more casual way, and I ended up not. I don't know. I ended up not enjoying it as much as I thought it would be. I would be. I kept overthinking every single passive point, every single skill gem. Like, what am I gonna use? What should I use at the end game? Like initially, I was gonna go Armageddon Brand Witch, but by Act 2, I got bored with it, and I re-rolled into an Inquisitor, Arc Inquisitor, and again, I enjoyed it a little bit more up until Act 7, and then I re-rolled again. And then after that, after the Act 7, re-roll, I decided to not do the guileless thing anymore. Nobody wanted to watch it, and I wasn't having fun with it. So I decided to play the league more normally, and by normally, I mean follow an actual YouTube guide, follow a Path of Building guide, and yeah, this time I decided to play Baylor Mage's SRS Poison SRS build, and yep, it got me through the game really fast. It got me to maps really fast for very, very little investment. I think I only spent like 40 chaos on 2 uniques, and that's literally it. All of my other gear was self-found, self-made, and I was able to clear red maps pretty easily. I wouldn't say super easily. I would die every now and then to one-shots and stuff, but yeah, pretty comfortably I was able to clear red maps. The build is starting to struggle with bosses. I'm starting to hit that wall again that I usually hit during certain leagues where I don't know how much farther I can take the build. I don't know what I need to do because yeah, I guess I'm at the point where I probably need to invest more currency into it. But at the same time, I've kind of gotten bored with the build already. I don't know, it's only been 5 days and it's already I kind of want to play something else. I'm not enjoying the play style anymore. I was at first because I like builds that just trivialize the game in a way, kind of. But now that I'm not trivializing the game anymore, now that I'm actually struggling with some of the endgame bosses and some of the league mechanics for Breach and Abyss, yeah, and I'm thinking about re-rolling again, and I'm just not liking the playstyle of having to babysit your specters and your animate guardians. Because one thing about a lot of minion builds is that they really rely on these specters that can buff all your minions, and these animate guardians where all these uniques that can buff all your minions. But when they die, you have to resummon them, and it's just annoying, having to go to Act 2 to summon all the chieftain specters, and then having to whenever my animate guardian died, I had to, essentially, I would need to rebuy all the uniques that I spent. It was 11 chaos worth of uniques, which isn't a lot, but it's still a pain in the ass to go to PoE trade and look for people that have the uniques and want to sell them to me. It's just, I don't know, it's just a pain in the ass again. Too much micromanaging of all these aspects, and not only that, but it's this isn't a passive minion build where you literally just summon them and you walk around while your minions kill everything. You have to the SRS, the summoning raging spirits, they have like a really short duration and you have to constantly summon them. Like yeah, you have to constantly be summoning them. So they're essentially like a normal build, like, where you just have to cast, I guess. And the reason I'm talking about that is because the type of builds I like to play are the ones where you kind of have the build play itself in the same way that like Righteous Fire, Idle Bomber, Totems, Zoomancer, Minion, Necromancer, like this, the same way those builds work, where there's not a lot of inputs you do. You turn on your auras, you summon your minions, and you literally walk around the map. The only thing you're doing is maybe applying some debuffs. You're applying some buffs to your own minions every now and then, but for the most part, your minions are playing the game for you, and that's what I like, especially in a game as complicated as Path of Exile. I think it's really good to help me get started, and it did. Yeah, I feel like I'm at the point where I understand the game systems a lot more, but I guess enough about the build. Point is, I got bored of it. I'm getting bored of it. I'm thinking about re-rolling. Combine the fact that I actually invested a lot of points into Breach and Abyss, because initially I wanted to try to be self-sufficient with my unique farms and farming all the ghastly minion jewels. And yeah, it didn't work out. I'll just put it plainly. I think the Breach and the Abyss League mechanics are garbage. They're really unrewarding. I think like fully invested in all of their notables in the Atlas tree. I've done like over 30 red maps, and I've just gotten so little out of them. Like each breach in a map gives me like 2 or 3 splinters if I'm lucky, and not even the good splinters. Like even though I'm like fully spec'd into the Chayula breaches, it's because that's the only one that's really worth a lot. Like the other ones are worth like 20 chaos for one breach stone. It's the Cholula ones that are worth like 80 plus chaos. But yeah, I've gotten like 20 splinters from Cholula, and I've been fully investing into the breach, all the breach notables, all the Abyss notables. I've gotten nothing from them. For Abyss, I haven't gotten a single abyssal death since I started mapping. I've only ever gotten one Stygian Spire, and that was in like a white map at the beginning of my mapping experience. And I wasn't even fully expecting the Abyss. I was like going full on into the breach at the time. So now that I'm fully expecting into Abyss and breach, I haven't gotten jack shit. Like I don't know, like I have gotten stuff. I wouldn't say I haven't gotten jack shit. It's just like I could expect into essences. I could expect into delirium, into ritual, and I probably would have gone like 10 times what I've gone so far from breach and Abyss. But yeah. Yeah, kind of a goof on my part. I knew I should have gone for like Bestiary or Essences or Harbinger or Strong Boxes. Those are always like the safest, surefire way to make money, especially early on. I kind of wanted to go Delirium and Ritual, but again, I wanted to farm some of the Breach uniques and the Abyss uniques because they seemed pretty cool. They seemed like they would be really useful for my build, and on top of that, GGG said they were reworking those 2 mechanics, so for some reason, I thought they would be more rewarding, but I guess when GGG says reworking, they're really saying we're gonna nerf the shit out of this. But yeah, build-wise, I'm good build, great build, got me to endgame really fast, but I'm not on board of it. Atlas-wise, I kind of goofed, went into Breach and Abyss, and yep, I regret it. I regret going into Breach and Abyss. I've spent over like 70 chaos now, just trying to buy all the orbs of making so I can spec into something else. Probably go either Delirium, Ritual, or maybe, I don't know, go into a Bestiary and a little bit into Harbinger. But I don't know, I'll probably just go Ritual and Delirium. Those League mechanics seem more straightforward, more fun. I like the sort of like the gambling surprise aspect of the Ritual League. And the Delirium one is just you go into a map and the more stuff you kill, the more prizes you get. Simple as that. Kind of like Ultimatum. Kind of wish they would bring it back, but oh well. So yeah, another thing that I really didn't like about this league is the lag. This is probably the laggiest league I've ever played, and not just in like the first day or two, which I can understand, like having DC issues or having like long queues. But I'm talking about like huge latency spikes in the middle of maps, constantly, like at least one every hour. It was really annoying, and I know like usually when people complain about like, oh, I'm getting really I'm getting really big lag spikes, and the first response is it's probably your internet, and I made sure like that was my thinking too, that it was my internet, that I needed to do something, or yeah, I needed to check my internet, make sure it wasn't you know screwing up or anything. And I actually tested it. I tested my latency. I had another monitor on to monitor my latency, to yeah, to make sure it wasn't my internet. I even played other online games to see if I would get lag spikes during them, and I didn't. I played an online game for like 4 hours, and I didn't get any lag spikes or any DCs. And then I logged into PoE and I played for less than 40 minutes, and I'm already getting a lag spike in the middle of a map. My second monitor that has like my latency, that I'm monitoring my latency on, isn't saying anything. It's saying that I'm still at like 6 or 7 ms. So yeah, I realized it's probably the game. Everybody on global chat was also complaining about huge latency issues. So yeah, apparently the fix is to just re-enter a map, portal out, portal back in, which is kind of a pain in the ass if you're doing fucking labyrinth, or I don't know, like in the middle of a boss fight. But it is what it is. I mean, I guess, you know. But yeah, that's another really big issue, aside from the fact that the Crucible mechanic wasn't really that great. I know that GG has updated it, but I'll have to play with it again, maybe on a new character, to see whether it's more fun to interact with it. But yeah, at first it wasn't. At first it was unrewarding, tedious, and I didn't want to touch it, and I didn't. So yeah. So I don't have a lot to say about the league mechanic, other than I thought it was garbage. So that and the latency issues, I don't know. That didn't really endear me too much to this league. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the current state of the game, or not current state, but on the league, on the Crucible League. In terms of like the current state of the game, I think the game is great. I think it has a lot of really fun end game systems. Like, it just has such a diverse pool of content. It's really cool seeing like how people are like farming expeditions. Other people are doing heists. Other people are farming ritual and delirium. Other people are like doing bestiary. Like, having that diverse set of end game mechanics is just really fun. You don't really see that in a lot of like ARPGs, or yeah, in general. But yeah, the game, again, the base game is great. Like, even though the league is in my opinion pretty shit because of the latency issues, there are 99% sure on PoE's on GG's side, and the league mechanic being really mediocre. I think the base game is still fantastic. I think it does have a lot of quality of life issues and a lot of antiquated game design features that at this point are just holding the game back. And normally I would go more deep into them. Like, for example, I think every player should get at least one chance to respec their entire build. I think having no pick up all currency options, like being able to just pick up all the currency on the floor with just one click, like every other game, it would be a huge quality of life issues. And there's a lot of other quality of life issues, for example, the fact that the stat screen that gives you your information on like your crit chance and your damage and all that, it's really freaking, it's not good. It's pretty garbage. The only reason you're gonna look at that is to see your how much stats you have into dexterity, your strength, and as well as to check your resistances. That's pretty much it. Like, you kind of need POB, path of building, in order to actually test your build, make sure your damage is good and all that. But yeah, I'm not gonna go. I don't want to go too deep into the quality of life issues and myriad of issues that the game has, because I feel like GGG is saving all of those fixes for PoE 2. So I guess I'll wait until PoE 2 to really complain about them if they're still there, and if they're not, that's great. You know, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about re-rolling again. Either I'm gonna re-roll another character, maybe Righteous Fire. I'll probably just quit the game. I kind of want to play the new Warhammer 3 DLC, the Chaos Dwarfs DLC. But I don't know. I really wanted to meet the goals that I had for this league, where I was gonna like actually try to beat all the bosses I did on my Fire Burst Elementalist back in Ultimatum. Do all the content I did on her, and at the same time also, get some payback on Cyrus for killing me like all those freaking times. I think I tried him over like 4 times, the Ultimatum League, and I was never able to kill him. It might have been my damage, but it was mostly the fact that I just couldn't get his mechanics down. Truth be told, like I was just dying way too quickly to him. So yeah, I'll probably have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably not gonna play my SRS anymore after this. I'm gonna respec my Atlas tree, maybe go into Delirium, go into Ritual. Those seem like more fun mechanics to farm than Abyss or Breach. They seem more rewarding, and see what happens. But I don't know, I might give the game another chance. I might try to re-roll something else, something that I might enjoy more, and actually get some goals done, like beat all the bosses, or I might just quit. I don't know. But if I have to give if I had to give this league a score, I would give it like a 4 out of 10. Just this league specifically, like I would give it a 4 out of 10. Like it's just latency issues that are on the side of the game, and a mediocre league mechanic is just it's not quite there. But the base game, if I had to give it a score, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I think the game still is really great. And yeah, I think in total, if I were to average those two into my experience playing this game the past few days, it'd probably be like around a 6 or 7. Probably like a high 6, I would say. The latency issues, if it didn't have all those latency issues, I would probably give it like a high 7, maybe even an 8. But yeah, the game is alright. Game is good. I don't know. This is probably going to be this will be the last video I'm making on Path of Exile. Probably, I don't know, I'll see. But anyways, thanks for listening, or for anybody that decided to watch this entire video and listen to my little ramble. Yeah, these videos mostly serve as a way to put myself out there, I guess, to get rid of a lot of the self-doubt I have about making videos. Sometimes I have really interesting, or I think I have really interesting ideas on making really cool videos, but I end up not doing them just because I'm really self-conscious. I second guess myself all the time. But through making these videos, hopefully I get more used to it. I get more used to putting my thoughts and opinions and my voice out there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.